everyone. I'm going to be doing a short reading from my newest book. Now, this book is a collab between Pinoy indie writers. So we have one theme, Manananggals in the City. My book is called Moonlight Eclipse. In Moonlight Eclipse, we have our titular characters, Anthony and Beldine. Beldine is a manananggal. For those who don't know Philippine myth, manananggals are ladies who can detach their half to, yes, in like the waist, and they grow bat wings and they can fly away. But by sunrise, they have to be attached, because if they are not, if they're still separate, they will die. So that is the legend of the manananggal. So I'm going to read to you chapter 5. So here we are in chapter 5. A lot of things are happening already. And, oh, well, Anthony is running, trying to save Beldine, or looking for her legs, while Beldine is also looking for her legs. So chapter 5, Heart's Resilience. Anthony cursed. They took too long and were discovered. Bree, her legs, and the other captives were nowhere in sight. They must be in the auction already. But where could the auction take place? One of the container vans? They had to find it fast. The assault team in front was already starting their advance. They could hear them battering the door. Anthony called his team together. Assemble everyone. Sniff the place out. Open every container. See if there are more Vicks. See if they use any of the containers to stream. Beldine wanted to panic. Was this her fate? To die by sunrise? To share the fate of her tribe? To be just another blip in the statistics? She couldn't breathe. She had to find her legs. She had to find Bree. Taking to the skies, there were multitudes of warehouses connected to this one. One of them had to be where the auction is taking place. Beldine, Anthony called her, but she was beyond hearing. She can't wait for him. She had to find her legs or die. Anthony cursed. Somehow he felt responsible. He should have stormed the building hours ago and not waited. He raced out of the warehouse and followed her, but his speed was no match for hers. All he could do was follow her scent. Her scent! He knew what she smelled like. He would know her anywhere, and her legs would carry her scent as well. Instead of following her, he followed his nose. Those traffickers went through this warehouse not so long ago, and their putrid scent was still strong. They came this way with many mermaid captives. He called Fred and the others. I have a scent. Follow me. 2 warehouses away near the docks were where the scent trail led them. It was near the water, and a lot of wooden motorboats were stationed and clearly waiting. It was devoid of human dwellings. Most warehouses in Manila had informal settlers growing like barnacles beside them. These had none. Clearly, people didn't wish to be near these seedy activities. Anthony kicked the wooden steel door, adrenaline pumping through him. He wanted to save the captives as well as Beldine's legs. His purpose in life was to protect those who could not protect themselves. It was a vow his father made. It was a vow he made. There, in the center of the open space, was a well-built scene in the form of an arena. Cameras and screen were all around as well. This was how the auction was taking place. They would be auctioned off online, and a waiting boat would take them to the buyers, and it was live. What set the werewolves apart from the shifters was the half form. Werewolves could partially shift to the wolf humanoid form of legend. He roared as he raced to the auction. Stop right there! The man had Beldine's legs in his hands. Beldine's legs were struggling, but he held them. Take a step, and I'll throw these legs into the water. Salt water and manananggal legs don't exactly go well. His men were holding several captives, Bree among them. She struggled, but was tied up. Anthony barred his teeth. So this was the head of the traffickers here. You are one of us, a werewolf. How could you? You're trafficking innocents. There was evil men in this world. They care for nothing but profit. This werewolf was clearly one of them. Anthony wanted to kill him. Business is business, Anthony Falstaff, was it? Boy band by day, hero by night. The werewolf villain sneered at him. He was dressed in a suit, clearly trying to make an impression to his buyers behind the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, look what I have here. Manananggal, last of the Manananggal tribe. We've had many juicy girls from this tribe before. Apart from their luscious body and leathery wings, their organs are compatible with anyone. Kidney failure, sclerosis of the liver, or even a heart transplant, harvesting your organs will give you your life back. Anthony could hear several beeps from the computer monitors. People were bidding. He felt so disgusted. He looked at each of the monitor and read their names, as most of them didn't reveal a picture to their faces. He vowed he would find them and kill them all. You're disgusting. He wanted to make this man die horribly. It won't end well, supernatural human traffickers, but he'd feel better tonight. He didn't know what to do and didn't know how to get Beldine's legs without harming her or any of the other girls. That was when he felt her near. She was there in the shadows, and he had to buy her time. $1 million. Give me her legs. The villain laughed. Is that all her worth? You're outbidden, Falstaff. 10. The screen pinged. Someone's bidding 15. The man laughed at the predicament. 20. Oh, this is getting exciting. He shook Beldine's legs. Do I see a 25? You're not getting 25 years, believe me. That was when Beldine tackled him from behind, springing out of nowhere. Surprised, he let go of her legs, and Anthony caught them before they could be injured. Beldine screamed at the werewolf villain's ears, rendering him unconscious. Because of the commotion, Anthony's team was able to overpower the men who held the victims captive. Because this villain was paranoid, only a few men were allowed in this warehouse while the auction was in progress. Anthony directed Mark and Frank to the monitors and laptop that streamed the event. He wanted names, addresses, anything they could get. This was a large organization. Although not all human traffickers worked together, they still know each other and their territories. Anthony also directed his men to secure the boats, making sure nobody escaped. The 6 teams of shifters were also to take on the 2 warehouses and search the nearby areas to make sure no victims were left. Anthony took a bottle of clean water and washed the top of her legs so Beldine could connect herself. Once she did, she curled into a ball. Hush, I'm here, he held her. He took my sister. Our tribe searched until morning to find her. Many weren't able to make it back to their legs. When we did find her, her organs were harvested. We scattered, trying to blend into society, staying low, hoping nobody would notice us. They still took us one by one. Then he took Bree because of me. Hush, my belle. None of this was your fault. You saved Bree. She's fine. Everyone is going to the hospital to get checked out. She shook her head. I don't want to go to the hospital. What do you want? Let me help you end the nightmares. Him. I want him to suffer as my sister suffered. I want him to tell me why. Anthony looked at Frank and Mark. Take him to the basement for interrogation. End of chapter 5. A lot of things will be happening after this, so don't think that this is the climax. It is not. And that's the reason why I've decided to read this chapter. A lot of things will be happening because this is a novella. It is 120 pages when it's printed. So I hope you guys order. You may order locally or you may order on Amazon. So I hope you guys enjoyed that because I enjoyed writing this. So thank you, everybody. And for those who are wondering, yes, we are dealing with a very sensitive topic, human trafficking. in this case, supernatural trafficking. So I've often volunteered in a lot of places, and yes, I've encountered some of the victims, and their plight will not end just then. It is an ongoing process. So if you have time or resources, well, if you don't have time to volunteer, but you do have resources to share, I do suggest that you do share to, you don't have to give it to the victim per se, but you can give it to the organizations who help these victims, because they need a lot of things. For one thing, psychologically, they need psychologists, a lot of psychologists. They need to heal. They're usually in the facility, and when you're in the facility, they get fed. There's a place for them to stay, and they also study. They need some time to get their life back in order. And please support these facilities so you can, or they can, support these girls. In Manila, I used to volunteer in a place called Marilac Hills. You can contact the SWD if you want to make a donation, because you're not allowed to go to the facility unless invited, okay, because it's a very sensitive place. Here in Davao City, there's Talikala. For Talikala, it's somewhere in Doña Vicente. I suggest you look for them on Facebook and try to make a donation that way. So thank you, everybody, and I hope to see you soon.